What's going on, everybody? Y'all know what time it is. Get your coffee mugs, get your papers, get comfortable. It's slime time. We about to start in about 5 seconds. Everybody hit that like button, subscribe. Today we got a D4VD update straight from TMZ. Now this was posted about 1 hour ago. Now I don't know what this man Harvey is on in this interview or this video, but the man's talking like he's working for Neo. Allegedly, he's claiming, or he has the audacity to say, that Neo, he believes, is not connected to the case due to his connections at the grand jury. And he heard that Neo was only there for 40 minutes and he participated with every question asked. So therefore, Harvey is claiming Neo is not connected, which we're going to watch this video and I'm going to give y'all my output at the end why I think that's a crock of shit. Let's get it. You're losing your mind over here, Harvey. Neo had nothing to hide when he appeared before the LA County Grand Jury, which is the hearing evidence on the death of Celeste Rivas. We learned he never pled the fifth. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Neo answered all the questions posed by LA County DA Beth Silverman, who is presenting evidence to the grand jury. Let's also forget that he had to be issued a warrant before he did go there. But anyways, let's see what they got.
Big twist in the Celeste Rivas death investigation. Neo, David's close friend, David, remember, is the prime suspect in her disappearance and death. Neo did not take the Fifth Amendment when he testified before the LA County Grand Jury last month. We have sources with direct knowledge who tell us that he testified freely and answered the questions of DA Beth Silverman. Now, this is odd for a variety of reasons. Remember, Neo testified for only 40 minutes. Beth Silverman is a pit bull when it comes to grilling witnesses. The manager of David was on the stand for 2 days when he testified. She grilled him like a cheeseburger. When he walked out back into the hallway, he was shaking his head. He didn't know what had happened. It was that aggressive. So when Beth Silverman wants something, she goes for it. Yet she only spent 40 minutes with him. And remember, she ended up getting him arrested in Montana and hauled back to Los Angeles to testify because he had failed to obey the subpoena and appear before the grand jury when he was supposed to. So it seemed like Beth Silverman really had her eyes set on Neo testifying about things that were highly relevant. Otherwise, why would she have gone to those lengths? So when you look at all of that, it seemed like he must have taken the fifth, but he didn't. And we now know that from sources. So now the question is, what did Neo say? We are told not much, that he didn't know anything relevant about Celeste Rivas's disappearance or death. That's what happened before the grand jury. Now, Neo has said that he had no involvement in Celeste Rivas's disappearance. We know that law enforcement was really interested in Neo, especially in that mysterious trip that David took in the middle of the night to a remote area of Santa Barbara last spring. They felt Neo might have been in the car. We've now learned he was not in the car. And Neo says that he had no involvement and even no knowledge of what happened to Celeste or David's possible involvement. So testifying for 40 minutes does suggest he doesn't know much. So now the question is this. If Neo didn't know much, explain this mystery. And for us...
So, according to Harvey, what do y'all think about this, chat? Because Neo only testified in front of the grand jury for 40 minutes does not mean at all he was not involved in anything that happened. And just because the other guy, the first guy that was went in front of the grand jury, who was there for what, 2 hours, does not mean a thing. And I don't even know why Harvey would go and say something like that, especially with all the evidence that's out against Neo. And obviously the man can't keep his mouth shut. I'm not looking at how long they was in there for, because first of all, Neo could have easily made a deal in 40 minutes and asked for immunity and said he would say everything he knows on the stand easily, while the other dude could have argued with her back and forth, and she could have just kept asking him more questions, and it went on for hours. But you notice when the manager left, he was the first one to get go to the grand jury, right? When he left, he was mad about the whole situation. Beth Silverman, the pit bull, was also mad. Why was she mad? Was he not giving her what he wanted? He also goes and says, what? Oh, they asked me why did I let D4VD around Celeste in the concerts, like I'm his father, or I can do something about it. You know what I mean? He let us know a little something. Meanwhile, while Neo did his little 40 minutes, he ain't say one word about nothing. Mind you, they had to drag him out his house. Sorry about that. They had to drag him out his house there. And then the pit bull, Harvey calls her, Beth Silverman, the DA, tells Harvey or whoever that Neo answered every question and he did so well. Yeah, I'm sure he did. Because all of a sudden he gets out the grand jury, and this is how much of a big mouth he got. He can't even stay quiet. He goes right and tweets D4VD, calls him the B word, calls him a dickhead, right or wrong. Now, this don't make no sense because you was hanging with D4D months after Celeste went missing and passed away. Didn't you go on the tour with him? You got more pictures on the side of this guy than anybody I know. It looked that people were starting to call you guys lovers. But most of all, listen to this, guys. He goes and tweets how he got evidence, proof and receipts, and all this stuff, which is almost near damn conspiracy, if anything. And that's why his lawyer went in and had to step in and say something for him. Because the man after the grand jury pretty much, you could tell that he turned. First of all, he goes and says how he done told half the world what he did, and they told on him. So you already know he got a big mouth. Then he goes inside there. Right? He brags how all his charges are dropped, blah, blah, blah. His lawyer even has to go back on his Twitter and clear everything up, say justice for Celeste, all that stuff. Me and my lawyer were actually planning on making a statement soon, but previously now is as the best time since TMZ decided to leave out the actual full statement. Here you go. Now his lawyer covering up for him. My client, Mr. Langston, will not make any public statements at this time. Too late for that. But all I'm trying to say, guys, who sounds like they're more connected? The manager, who was the first one to make a statement saying, I got a wife, I got a kid, I don't be around D4VD like that. You know what I'm saying? Who was the first one to get interviewed. Obviously, they didn't get what they wanted from him. If they had Neo on their mind next and the other friends, like Harvey just said, you know why? Because they're looking for that eyewitness. They're looking for that person who was there that's going to fold. Because just like they said, it wasn't just one person involved. So I don't believe it was the manager when, you know, his relationship with D4VD looks like it hasn't changed. All of a sudden, Neo goes, you know, subpoenaed to court. He lashes out on D4VD, calling him all these names. But you ain't say that when you went on tour with him. What's that about? And now you got evidence, you got this and that of what? Damn near conspiracy. That's why your lawyer trying to tell you to close your mouth. So I don't know what Harvey's thinking. Just because this man was in that room for only 40 minutes and the manager was in there for 2 hours does not mean he was not connected. He could have easily made a deal. Easily. And that's probably why the DA was mad and upset with the manager, because he wasn't giving them what they wanted, because maybe he didn't know nothing, who knows. And they all giddy happy with Neo. Yeah, he told us what he wanted. Get him a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? And this man, he got so much of a big mouth, he takes it right to Twitter. Come on now. You telling me now you all of a sudden this is your enemy? Hold on. Bro, you got a star on your face. We don't see the manager doing no dumb, weird shit like this. How many pictures have we seen the manager with, allegedly, in Celeste and D4VD? Neo, he's damn near and a handful of pictures with them. But you're telling me they're not going to want to talk to him? They want to talk to the manager? Get out of town. He's freaking, not only that, he's even in the music videos. D4VD got an Asian guy, not him, but got an Asian guy playing in the music videos. Come on now. Ain't he even your roommate? So most of all, we got to finish the video also. There's more of the video. But I also want to show you what Steve Fisher said. He's not stupid. And Steve Fisher also got some words for Harvey. I ain't play it yet. But look what Steve Fisher got to say after Neo got out that grand jury. He says, so here's the thing, Neo. If you have to tell my side of things, that means you were involved in the things. You just want everyone to believe you did less of the things. People who weren't involved don't have my side of things. And how tone deaf are you exactly? Your Week for Me post has 11 references about you and not a single mention of Celeste, who is unalive. She's unalive because of the things you're trying to explain away. Nobody cares about your feelings, Neo. This is about Celeste. And what's crazy, 10 minutes after this, he goes and makes another post and adds Celeste there in it and all that. And that's when his lawyer told him to shut up and just said, my client's not going to be tweeting no more. Throw this damn phone in the trash.
This is a mystery. On Friday, Neo posted on Instagram this. He said, quote, there is more to the story than what's on the news. How would he know that? How would he know there's more to the story?
I don't know. You tell us that, Harvey. You just said the man's not connected because he didn't plead the fifth and he spent 40 minutes in there and your sources said he answered every question. You tell us how. Sound like a conspiracy to me. If he got evidence and
than what's on the news, if he knows nothing about Celeste's disappearance or David's possible involvement. That is what's puzzling us. And so the story we got is He testified freely, did not take the fifth, doesn't know anything relevant, yet he said that. So that's what is raising our eyebrows a little bit. But it does seem like Neo is not connected to Celeste Rivas's disappearance based on everything that we now know went down before the grand jury. The final thing we know is the friendship, the close friendship between Neo and David is kaput because Neo called David a blankhead, you can fill in the blank there, on his Instagram post Friday. So it seems like there is no love lost there, but it may not matter if and when David is charged with Celeste Rivas's murder.
But make it make sense. Why would all of a sudden, after he goes in there and he don't plead the fifth, you're saying he didn't say nothing, all of a sudden he wants to take shots at D4VD. But he went on tour with him. This was months afterwards. Steve Fisher allegedly went on Nancy Grace and told us the car was moved before they went on tour. They allegedly moved the car. Come on now, let's not play stupid. You reported on it, Harvey. So why is all of a sudden this being said?
And that seems like it is going to happen, that he will be indicted by the grand jury. That's what we're hearing. So stay tuned. But this one comment on Friday still has us wondering. But everything else tells us Neo had no involvement, and he says nothing relevant.
This guy's really gonna sit here and say Neo had no involvement. That's why Steve Fisher gets on his ass. Bro, you cannot say that just from what? He spent 40 minutes in that room with the grand jury? Like I said, he could have easily made a deal to testify. And if something was going to happen, they're not going to say, hey, Neo's going to drop the bomb and we're going to bring D4V down on this day. They're going to keep it under wraps until it happens. Period. Wow, that's a crazy video, him saying that. Like, he was just taking pictures like this with D4VD. Now, I can see if he did this before D4VD was with Celeste, but this was all after she went missing. After you done took pictures with him and her. And then you ready to open your mouth talking about there's more to the story, you got receipts, evidence, boom, conspiracy. But y'all want us to think the manager's involved. This man hasn't said a word, but he's with his wife and his kids. We ain't seen him in no pictures, nothing. Come on now. Look, I think the worst part is that I've told so many people that I trust and I thought knew me as a person, my side of things. All for that to be thrown out the window. Yeah, you talk too much, probably. Neo posted on his Instagram, right into his Instagram to everybody, there is more to the story than what's on the news. I wonder all of a sudden why is he throwing his friend under the bus, calling him a D-head and all that, but you got the same star freaking Band-Aid under your eye. A Band-Aid. Wearing shirts that say wear G-A-Y. Come on now. Am I tripping, y'all? I got no idea why Harvey stepped up and said that about Neo. My opinion, there's more evidence leading that the manager's not connected than Neo. Most of them pictures we seen, they weren't they hanging on the table drinking beers together and all that BS. Like, this case is getting crazy and crazy, I tell y'all. But I'm out, gang, to the next update. Hit that like button, subscribe for more videos.